La mano del gamer.
The Greenvale General Hospital is down the road by the lake. It's too far to walk. Come on, get in the car.
If I'm riding in a car, George, I prefer to be the driver. Can you provide a car for me?
What are you talking about? You don't even know how to get there.
Cierto.
Which is another good reason for me to drive, George. I need to learn my way around town.
Oh, man. Very well. Then I'll ride with you. I want to keep an eye on you.
Fair enough.
Just one thing, Agent Morgan. Your involvement in this case is limited. That means you don't have to learn your way around town.
George, we'd better get moving. The hospital closes at 2100.
Ahora sí, muy buenas, bienvenidos una vez más a la mano de gamer. Oh, Dios, no soy Mireia, ¿eh? Bueno, bienvenidos una vez más. Un momento, ¿qué ha ocurrido mientras estaba yo hablando a cámara? ¿Le ha aparecido un chubasquero automáticamente? Madre mía. Madre mía lo que nos perdemos. Bienvenidos una vez más a la mano del gamer. Continuamos con la serie Deadly Premonition y vamos a ver los resultados de la autopsia de la víctima de Anna Graham. Sin más dilación, vamos a ello.
Agent Morgan, get us there quickly, but drive within the speed limit. Just because you have a badge doesn't mean you
Los
can drive
límites de
like a
velocidad.
maniac.
Venga, va.
George, what are you, his mother?
We just need to get the autopsy results.
Agent York isn't accustomed to the town yet. Give him a little slack. Well then, Agent York, let's get going.
Sure, sounds good.
Vale, tengo que respetar los límites de velocidad y tengo que ir a un lugar que no sé dónde está. Vamos a, si os parece bien, vamos a comprobar el mapa. Tenemos que llegar al hospital, que es donde está la víctima, el cuerpo de la víctima. Vale, está por aquí. Vale, entonces hay un camino que rodea el lago. Y nosotros estamos aquí. Vale. Bueno, vamos a ver si consigo llegar. ¿Cómo se controlaba esto? Vale, parabrisas. Necesito el parabrisas. El otro día no lo podía quitar. No existo. Coño, qué miedo. George no tiene cabeza. Ahí estamos, perfecto. Muy bien, pues... Oh, vaya. No, George, no me hagas quedar mal delante de toda esta gente. Coño. Aquí, hablar. No, habla. Me cago en la...
Agent Morgan, I can't help noticing you prefer to work alone.
Most of the time, yes.
Don't you get lonely, flying all over the country alone?
I must say I've never felt lonely.
Are you married?
Unfortunately, relationships and I are fleeting strangers.
Vaya, hombre.
I don't get on very well with women, you might be surprised to hear.
That's because you're
Pero no le digas eso a una
You notice
tía.
things like that at my age. You have to treat women carefully, like a thin crystal wine glass. If you don't, they can cut scars on your face, just like yours, right?
George, is this an interrogation? I see you're a seasoned professional. But let's not talk about my scar. It was caused by a problematic woman.
Well, she got you good. Terribly good.
It'll fade away, and nobody will notice it in a week.
A week? It's not that light of a wound.
Como podéis ver, la...
Emily.
Emily,
Tell me.
dígame.
Is there really a need for a full-time sheriff in a small town like this?
I'm sure it is small to your city eyes, but any gathering of people leads to all kinds of problems.
Más $5 de honor por romper una
Runaways,
farola.
stray pets.
You're too fixated on violent crimes. Our job is to guide the people along the correct path, first and foremost. Now, that's what I consider to be my duty as the sheriff of Greenvale.
Zach, there he is. The monarch, in all his glory. Kind of makes me glad that I wasn't born here.
Did you say something, Agent Morgan?
No, nothing, George.
Nada.
I was just reflecting on a little history.
Well, we're in the middle of a homicide investigation. Keep your mind on the matter at hand.
Okay, which right now is driving.
Vale, creo que me estoy perdiendo. Vale, si os fijáis, la gente comenta pues esto, que la herida que tiene York en la cara, todo el mundo le dice que no es tan superficial como él se cree. Esto más adelante veremos a qué se debe, ¿no? De que York considere que es superficial.
Well, we're in the middle of a homicide investigation. Keep your mind on the matter at hand.
¡No!
You're right, Agent York. You still don't know your way around. Concentrate on driving us to the hospital.
Bueno, ya veremos si llegamos vivos al hospital. Vale, yo de verdad os prometo que estoy intentando conducir bien, pero es que es muy difícil conducir bien en este juego, muy difícil. Venga, va, que ya llegamos. Ah, vale, aparcamiento del hospital. Bien. Vamos a ver la autopsia de Anna Graham. Hospital de Green Bay.
That's a pretty big hospital. I guess they wanted to be ready for town-wide food poisoning?
No, it's another leftover from the town's prosperous slumber days. Hard to imagine now, though, isn't it?
My mother always talked about how energetic this town used to be. Almost like a gold rush, she used to say.
Impressive.
But the hotter the fever, the faster it cools. And so now there's hardly anyone left to use this place.
It pains me to watch my hometown lose so many citizens. Beyond your understanding, I'm sure.
Yes, I'm sorry to say that it is.
Indeed. That's why this case is our problem.
Mola porque se están mojando muy felizmente. Está el tío ahí posando ahí como un macho y dices, te estás calando, chaval. Te estás calando hasta los gallumbos. Salid ya de ahí, si podéis. Mira, es que ya está, un par de pasos y están a cubierto.
Hello, Sheriff.
Dios. Coño, ¿y esa mano?
Hi there, Fiona. We're here to see Usha. Do you know where he is?
I think Dr. Johnson is in the computer room.
A computer room? In a hospital?
Nice to meet you, Mr. FBI agent.
Ordenadores en
The
un
computer
hospital.
room is where our employees share a
¿Qué tiene de
computer.
raro
Very
eso?
nice to meet you, too. I'm FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan.
Llámame
How did you
ya.
know I was FBI?
Easy. None of the police in this town wear cologne.
Besides, that scar on your face is the biggest rumor in town.
¿Veis? La cicatriz. Siempre
Rumors
comentan la
get
cicatriz.
exaggerated as they spread, even in the countryside.
What's that you're reading, if I may ask?
Liar's House, la casa del mentiroso.
You haven't heard of this yet? It's a recent bestseller mystery. It's set in the U.S., a small traditional North American town close to the Canadian border. A peaceful, traditional place. However, that peaceful town is shattered by a terrible crime, the murder of a local girl.
And that incident causes grief and sadness to everyone in town. But everyone feels the seditious, heinous evil still lurking, alive. Yes, much like the situation right now here in Greenvale.
Fiona, don't say that.
Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. With Anna dead and all.
Don't worry. Books are written to entertain, and it's good you're enjoying it. What we're faced with here is a terrible crime committed in a real world. Much different from that of a novel. So there's no need to apologize.
Hombre, muy diferente no es. Se parece bastante, de hecho, ¿no? Una chica muerta en un pueblo pequeñito, cerca de la frontera con Canadá. Venga, vamos a hablar con Fiona, si os parece bien. Parece una chica muy amigable. El Dr. Johnson debería estar en la sala de informática. Ah, pues no es tan amigable. ¡Uy! ¡Uy! ¡Anda! ¡Anda! ¿Qué? ¿Qué? ¿Por qué me bloquea el paso?
We couldn't find him.
Fiona needs to check her information.
No, I don't think so. Does the doctor like playing games by any chance?
What do you mean?
There's a message on the computer, and a card key already set in place. The king passes the rook and
Rey
meets
pasa la torre
the
delante
bishop.
del alfil.
Knight
Caballo come
takes a
peón hacia la
pawn
dama.
along for the queen.
What does that all mean?
It's a simple puzzle.
Zach, let's take him up on his challenge. You can do this, right?
Claro que puedo, venga. Vale, rey pasa la torre delante del alfil. Caballo come peón hacia la dama. ¡Jaque mate! Qué difícil, ¿eh? Joder, la cara esa.
The doctor awaits below with the deceased.
El doctor espera abajo con los muertos.
Another code? But there's nowhere to insert a password.
More games. I'm going to get Fiona to call Usha up here right now.
No need, George. The message appeared with the card key. It's telling us where to use it.
This is not the time to be joking around, Agent Morgan.
Dr. Usha is below with the deceased. With Anna. Below being underground, I take it. Simple. Simple.
Qué inteligente, ¿eh? El
Then
doctor
it's
está abajo
time
con
to
el
meet
muerto.
the mischievous
¿A
architect
quién se le va a ocurrir que está abajo con el muerto?
Ah,
Tarjeta del sótano. Honor. Vamos a ver la autopsia, ¿qué tal?
Usha, sorry to keep you waiting.
Ah, you made it. Let's get started, shall we?
This is Agent Morgan from the FBI.
Nice to meet you. I'm Usha Johnson, the doctor in this hospital.
FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan.
Llámeme York.
Please call me York.
Todo el mundo lo
Everyone
hace.
calls me that.
Ay, la oreja. Pica.
Very well, Agent York.
Are you a forensic practitioner?
Let's just say I've dealt with corpses before.
That battle of wits, by the way. Did you create that yourself?
Mm-hmm. I just wanted to see if our FBI agent could handle the task.
I see. Well, it was pretty fun.
Oh, I'm glad you liked it.
We don't have much time. We need those autopsy results.
¿Y esa cara? Esa cara que ha puesto Emily, así como de...
Next time, try challenging us without obstructing an investigation. You've angered the monarch.
From the onset of rigor mortis, the stiffening of the muscles, the time of death is estimated to be between 20 and 2200
Vale, murió entre las
hours.
8 y las 10 de la
That's
noche.
still quite early for such a crime to take place. Note that there are 2 exterior wounds, pressure marks around the neck, and a long cut running from chest to abdomen. Blood marks on her right hand tell us she was gripping something round in her right hand. Her skull is also fractured, but that is unrelated to the cause of death. It probably happened to her after she was killed.
Se partió la cabeza después de morir. Vale.
Now, I first thought death by suffocation, due to the marks on her neck. But after further investigation, I now have a different conclusion. The direct cause of death was loss of blood from the wound.
Which means...
She was cut up while she was still alive.
Yes, a sharp knife was used. It was inserted beneath the sternum and then quickly sliced downwards.
Qué olor.
The excessive loss of blood from her internal organs is what actually killed her. Her nails are clean, and with no skin cells from the attacker. She also doesn't appear to have been bound nor badly beaten. She was apparently killed without resistance. The most tragic thing, however, was that she was unable to speak her story to anyone who could hear her cries.
The perpetrator cut out Anna's tongue.
Well, I believe she was drugged first to phase her consciousness, and then the killer killed her. Now, the killer most likely has a deep, traumatized past concerning women. He probably cannot converse with them normally. Cutting out the tongue suggests a very lonely individual. Either that or a truly hardcore sadist. He must get off on watching women suffer, especially when they can't answer back. Now, he watched as the blood pumped from her body, as she gradually grew cold. Now, a case in Seattle in 1985 was much like...
Usha, please, limit your report to your findings as a doctor. Criminal profiling is my job.
Toma ya, ala.
You're wrong, also.
Chan, chan,
Anna
chan.
died fully, deeply, painfully aware of what was happening to her.
But,
Tell me, what time did it stop raining on the night Anna was killed?
Just before I went to bed, right after the movie on TV ended, so around 1 a.m.
What movie was it?
An American Werewolf in London.
Directed by John Landis, 1981. So the rain stopped, accompanied by the ending song, Blue Moon.
Yo es que no me acuerdo ahora de esa
George,
película
would you
cómo
mind
era
if I examined
exactamente.
Anna
Nombre
myself?
americano, nombre lobo
What
americano en
more do
París.
you hope to find?
La he visto, pero no caigo.
I'm sure I mentioned that I have a personal interest in cases like these.
Venga, vamos a examinar el cadáver. Ep. ¿Qué le ocurre a este? No sé qué edad debe tener, pero no puede ser muy viejo. Parece un doctor de confianza. ¿Y cómo es un doctor que... ¿Y cómo es un doctor que no es de confianza? No deberíamos mirarla mucho tiempo. Sí, puede quedar un poco raro. Uy. Hay restos de líquido evaporado alrededor de los ojos. Debe de haber llorado antes de morir. Un pelo rubio precioso, deslumbrante, incluso muerta. Hombre. Lleva uñas postizas perfectas. Tenía algo en la mano y se lo quitaron unas 6 horas después de muerta. ¿Cómo se sabe eso? El objeto era circular con un signo de la paz en relieve. Esto es una pista bastante tocha, ¿no? El cuerpo de Ana está en la mesa. A ver. Le han arrancado la lengua. Mira el borde del muñón.
From her lack of resistance, I'd say that Anna's injuries happened very quickly. Unable to speak, she was then left to cry herself to death.
Zach, it's all starting to come together.
The perpetrator stayed with her for at least 2 hours until it stopped raining. At the estimated time of her death, it was still raining, but you can still see tear marks on her cheeks. That means she was killed under a roof somewhere.
Ah, amigo. Cierto. Como se le ven las lágrimas, no estaba bajo la lluvia. Estaba estaba bajo un techo.
There's one other thing. Her tongue
Primero la
was
mataron y luego la
removed
pusieron en el
with a
árbol.
blunt knife. In fact, it's more likely it was simply chopped off.
Usha, are you a passionate man?
Well, not particularly, but I am man enough should the moment call for it.
George, how about you?
I'm very passionate. Yes. Especially when it comes to women. But I don't see what that has to do with anything.
George, the perpetrator is just like you. He's passionate about women. He's a passionate kisser. This was a kiss of death.
The perpetrator bit off Anna's tongue.
We'll never get a dental print from a wound like this. But this is still a big lead.
it, Zach. A shame, but our old-time all-American sightseeing tour just came to an end.
This case is now under the jurisdiction of the FBI. I'm assuming command. I'll need you to assist me in the investigation.
What in the hell do you mean, Agent Morgan? I know I said I was passionate, but you can't think I did this.
That's not why I'm assuming command, George. You're a suspect just as much as every other passionate man on Earth. Let me show you something.
Ajá. Anna Graham tenía en la garganta una de las semillas que llevaba York en el coche y que parece ser que... de las cuales tiene una colección. O sea, este caso está vinculado con las investigaciones que York ha estado llevando en los últimos años. Así que la cosa se acaba de poner muy interesante. Sí que tenemos muchas preguntas.
Emily, we should be going. No need to stay here any longer.
Okay. I have to sign the release. Just give me a moment.
Very well. I'll go on ahead. I can't take it any longer down here. Bishop takes queen. His rook takes your queen. Then your knight takes rook. And checkmate.
Huh?
My first victory in the Grandmaster ranking.
Joder, es que es el puto amo, ¿sabes? Es que no ha mirado, si os fijáis, no ha mirado a la pantalla en ningún momento, pero sabía qué jugada era la que necesitaba para ganar. Eso es ser bueno. Venga, a fumar. ¿Qué demonios se estará fumando para ver ese tipo de cosas?
Zach, they're here.
Están aquí. Dios mío, no. Vamos a morir. Bueno. Toma ya. Anna Graham. La víctima. ¡Ah! ¡Dios! ¿Qué ocurre? ¿Y estos colores tan locos? Madre mía, parece una discoteca de los años 60. Una tarjeta. Ese bulto era una tarjeta.
Here! Over here!
Aquí. A ver si sobrevivimos. Tío, es que me mata cuando hace eso, ¿eh? En serio. A ver, York, ¿no? No, ¿cómo se controlaba esto? Por amor de Dios. ¿Qué estás haciendo? A ver, apuntado. Autoapuntado. No. Ah. Se le ha caído el arma, perfecto. Lo peligroso es... ¿Veis que está brillando? Pues eso es que me va a disparar. Uf. Vale, perfecto. Ya tenemos a 2 de 3. Voy a ir cogiendo las balas de escopeta porque aunque aún no tenga escopeta, luego nos va a ser útil cuando la consigamos, chicos. Parece invisible. Ah. Hola, ¿dónde estás? Uy.
Amazing.
¡Ay, Dios!
Amazing.
Esto ha sido un poco raro, el tío se ha ido a fumar y de golpe ha empezado a ver zombies por todo el hospital.
Agent Morgan, if you're
Será
so
por el ansiedad del
desperate, then why
tabaco
not
o algo.
smoke two
Porque...
at once?
Mira, y ahora de golpe el mundo real otra vez. Es que no sé. Si no fuma se le va la olla o algo.
Who's that old man?
That's Harry. Harry Stewart. One of the bigger problems around here. His father started up the lumber trade and founded this town.
¿El padre fundó este pueblo?
As I'm sure you can see. Always
¿Padre?
dressed like that.
¿Fundó el...?
Never
No,
speaking
lo he
to the
entendido mal.
townsfolk.
No puede
Just
ser.
FYI, he owns almost the entire town. Not that that makes any difference. So long as I'm around, he won't be getting away with any funny business.
Capitalista misterioso. ¿Qué clase de término es eso? Capitalista misterioso. Hombre, la máscara de gas es bastante misterioso.
Mr. Francis York Morgan, haste won't lead you to what you seek. Keep your eyes focused on your footing as we speak. So says Mr. Stewart.
Michael Tillotson, este hombre habla en verso. Es un poco rarito, la verdad.
Nice to meet you too. How did you know my name?
Ha estado viendo el playthrough en la mano del gamer.
Mr. Francis York Morgan, information desires you, just as you desire information
Anda.
too. So says Mr. Stewart.
Harry, stop trying to get in our way. Keep this up, and even you'll have to answer to the law.
No lo ha dicho rimando este. Muy mal. ¿Qué tiene en el
Mr.
cuello?
Francis York Morgan, with each rain our town goes mad. To our disdain,
Cuando llueve el pueblo
unpreventable.
enloquece.
So sad. So says Mr. Stewart.
Thanks for the warning.
Then we shall depart, Mr. Francis York Morgan.
That's how he always is. Always spouting that nonsense. Don't give it any thought. It's all gibberish.
Emily here. Uh-huh. Oh. Okay, thank you, Thomas. Agent York, we've contacted the first witnesses to the crime scene. You can interview them where they found the dead body.
Excellent. I was just about to ask if you could take me there.
Excellent. Muy bien. Bueno, yo creo que lo vamos a dejar aquí, chicos. Creo que lo vamos a dejar aquí, chicos. Hemos realizado la autopsia al cadáver de Anna Graham y nos ha dado algunas pistillas interesantes. Ella murió a refugio de la lluvia. Parece ser que conocía al asesino. Pudiese ser que fuese drogada. Y bueno, le hicieron las heridas cuando estaba viva. Le cortaron la lengua de un beso y luego pues la colgaron en el árbol cuando ya había acabado la lluvia. Así que ese es el motivo por el cual pues se le veían las marcas de las lágrimas aquí en las ojeras. Y luego, por otro lado, hasta 6 horas después de su muerte, o sea, cuando estuvo ahí colgada en el árbol, mantuvo agarrado una especie de medallón o algo así que se le quedó marcado en la palma de la mano. Así que bueno, con estas pistas yo creo que ya me despido de este vídeo. Ya sabéis, dadle al like, comentad, montaos vuestras teorías y si queréis las vamos comentando o algo. Nos vemos en el próximo vídeo. Hasta la vista.